to start?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm Adam from the Rubiel Tap Room.
I'm Lee from the Oshkosh Beer Blog. So I have a question.
Yeah.
What?
Where are your glasses? There's this.
I think I know where they are, and I'll never get to them. When you think of IPA,
Yeah.
what region of the country do you think of?
The northeastern United States.
Northeastern.
I knew
Really?
it. I figured that probably wasn't going to be the answer you were expecting.
Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, because there's a lot happening out there with IPA.
Yep.
I mean, when I think of IPA, my first thought, I guess, goes to the West Coast, because that's where all this thing came rolling in from. But that's not really a West Coast Provence. It's not their thing anymore.
No.
Well, it is their thing
It
still,
is.
but it's not
It is,
just
but
theirs.
it's, you know, on the real extreme side of the craft beer lover spectrum, West Coast is passé for hops.
Now there's places like Iowa.
Yeah, Iowa, definitely.
And Madison, Wisconsin.
Yep.
Which, I mean, more and more, you start thinking of Madison as being a place where you can get some good hoppy beers. And this is one of them.
There's quite a bit of sediment in this beer.
Whoa! I don't think we're going to be able to get that on here, but damn, there's some floaties here.
Yeah, I mean, there are some large particulate matter in here.
This is Idiot Farm, Imperial IPA
Yeah.
from Carbon 4 Brewing in Madison, Wisconsin. And
I think they've only brewed this beer once before, maybe. Once or
I'm not
twice.
sure. Well, I mean, they've only been open since 2013.
Yeah.
So they're located on the east side of Madison in the old Ale Asylum Brewery, another brewery from Madison that you kind of associate with
Hops.
hop-forward beers,
Yeah.
So this is where what things are coming to now.
Yeah.
It's like I've been going around to a lot of brew pubs this summer, and you're seeing, and tap rooms, more and more you're seeing maybe not half of the tap list being IPAs.
Yeah.
But
a third of it.
A third of it.
Yeah.
And if they're not IPAs, they're very hop-forward beers.
India Pale Lagers and...
Yeah, and all kinds of stuff. Like you have 30 taps here.
Yeah.
And I was looking yesterday. I think 6 of your taps right now are beers that have carry a substantial hop load. I mean, is that what people are coming in like? And
Absolutely. Absolutely. What's the new IPA on tap? And truthfully, it doesn't matter who's making it either. They just want to try it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and so the Brewers Association says that IPAs are now something like 25% of the total market.
Yeah,
I think
I'm not
that's
surprised.
Well, I think that's undercounting too.
Yeah.
Because like you have a beer here, that Emperor Norton.
Yeah.
So that's starts off as a Belgian triple.
Yeah.
But then it's dry hopped with a ton of Citra. I think they're Mosaic.
Amarillo, yeah.
So it's like it's all these beers are just the hop load has been really upped up.
Whether they're defined as IPAs or not.
And this is a brewery. So when Carbon 4 started, I remember reading an interview with the brewmaster. I think his last name is Koga. I think it was launched by 3 guys from Apple.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And
are they still involved, or?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It sounds like that core group is still together. But he was talking more of like how he was influenced by English beers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he was talking about malty beers. But I mean, they're really not known for that.
No. Well, and frankly, those aren't the styles that are selling right now, and those aren't the styles that will gain you a lot of notoriety.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, the ones you hear people talk about with Carbon 4, it's
Fantasy Fact.
Dragon Flute, their American Pale Ale, which is a very hoppy pale ale. Tokyo Sauna. I don't know, where did they get these names from?
I don't know, but they do a good job with branding, for sure.
Yeah. And you have another one over at Gardina's, that Silk Scorpion?
Yeah, the Black IPA.
Black IPA.
Yeah.
But I was at the brew pub this summer, and they haven't given up on malty beers. I mean, they had an English mild on that was like really one of the best English milds.
Really?
Yeah, and I was probably
that's
the only
good.
person that drank it that day. But it was good.
That's awesome.
So what do you think of this?
I think this is a really, really well-made beer. I don't even know what the ABV is. What, 8.5, 9?
8.3, 8.4,
Okay.
something like that. It's up
See,
there.
To me, that's when the double IPAs start to be getting in the 10, 10 and a half, 11 category, that's pain levels of hops and booze for me. But
8% alcohol, that's all right. That's your.
Hey, I mean, I'm not going to drink it by the gallon, but I can handle it. It's a good. This is a nice beer.
Yeah,
it's a nice beer, and it does have some more malt character. You can see a nice kind of amber hue. It's not that real kind of pale, loads of pale malt. I mean, there's some caramel malt.
But there's definitely like a pineapple kind of thing that's coming up in there. I mean, it's got the, and that's another thing with this. Like these IPAs have changed. All these hoppy beers have changed. I mean, I knew like back in, I don't know, 2010. I knew a group of people that were dedicated to IPA.
Yeah.
And those were bitter beers. And now that bitterness is kind of like going away. And it's
well,
more
like
of a
Lakefront IPA is my perfect example of that. That beer, 2010, 2011, 2012, up until recently, was a very bitter beer. I mean, it was malty. It had some piney hops, and then it had great building bitterness after each sip. And that is a completely different. And we've done that in an episode before, talking about how they've changed kind of the formula for that beer. But you're absolutely right.
What's surprising me about that is like people that I knew that were really into these bitter beers.
Yeah.
Of all these people, there's only one of them I know that went off the IPA train when beers became less bitter.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, because now a lot of these beers, you don't get that big bitterness.
No,
you get more hop flavor.
Fruity hop flavor, aroma.
A lot of aroma out of it. But those people all except for one, they all still love these IPAs.
So, my question for you is that I've noticed a lot of these IPAs still have very high IBUs, but the bitterness is not as perceptive as it once was. Why would you think that is?
I don't believe what they say for IBUs. Like most places aren't getting when brewers are putting an IBU thing out there, usually it's a calculated IBU out of a brewing spreadsheet. They're notoriously unreliable.
Okay.
If you would measure the IBUs in a lot of these beers, I bet they'd be significantly lower than what most people are saying.
So would you say that's more of a marketing tool than it is?
I think so. I mean, because it's a signifier to people.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an IPA.
Like low fat or fat free.
I mean, do you think this beer is? 50, 60 IBUs?
That's what I would guess. I mean, I would say 50, 55 would be my...
And it's not lingering. It just it's there and then it kind of drifts away.
Yeah. But that's one thing that I see because, these beers that are 70 IBUs and it's like that should be really like strongly bitter and where it's really lingering. And
no, I mean, I've had German Pilsners that have more of a lingering bitterness than what this exceptionally hugely hopped beer has.
Yeah.
One other thing too, like, and I've been noticing this summer, like if you get to brew pubs, this seems to be an urban phenomenon.
Yeah.
If you get to brew pubs that are off the beaten path, I was in Ashland, I was in Marshfield.
Okay.
You just don't see this. I mean, there might be an IPA on, but it's not like that's the predominant kind of thing that's happening.
So who is the prototypical IPA drinker?
Oh, I don't know, man. I think it goes across the spectrum.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems to be younger guys.
Yeah.
But I know some women that love it. And I like I was talking about this group I knew that 2010 were into these beers. They were all older guys, and man, and part of this too, I think some of it has to do with alcohol.
Yeah.
It's like the unspoken thing of like the IPA, because people know that IPA
is going to have 6% probably minimum.
It's going to deliver value
and up to
12% value for the dollar.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that. And it's an in-your-face beer. It's not a subtle beer ever.
No.
So and that's we talk about the parallels between wine and beer sometimes, or at least I do. And the big bold red wine drinker is the IPA drinker of the beer world.
That's the people that
yeah.
Well, and that's the same thing with those wines too.
Yeah.
They're
higher alcohol.
Yeah,
and big flavor.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, not at all. It's just the similarities are interesting.
Yeah.
So one more thing I want to touch on, these other two small pours of beer we have here are from Next Door Brewing Company in Madison. It's their Luminous IPA, which I have very little information on, but we have it on tap at the Ruby Owl. So I thought it'd be nice to have a little comparison.
Yeah, and we let that sit for a little while. Like when I first took a sip of it,
real
or
kind of
smell of it, I was getting that Centennial kind of Cascade sort of thing.
Nice color though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I definitely get that scent. I think more Cascade probably than this. That's a nice beer too. But so is this straight up IPA? Do you know, like?
Yeah, I mean.
After this bruising thing.
Yeah, it tastes like a light. And to me, this has the makings of kind of an old school IPA, if you will, without a ton of bitterness either. Although there is some, but
that's where all this changed too. Is like with the signature hops were Cascade, Centennial, Chinook, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then when Mosaic, Amarillo, all these other hops came in, these kind of this now signifies the old school.
So I'm not well versed enough in hops to know. Do Citro, Mosaic, Amarillo? Do those have less inherent bitterness to the hop themselves?
No, they're all high alpha.
So they just
when they're
dry hop
and when they're added,
they don't just extract the bitterness as much.
But it's funny. Like you taste this, it really, like you were saying, like it's an old school.
Yeah,
it's not really, but that flavor of that hops really kind of harkens.
Well, you can tell in the way that they've made it.
I'm tearing up. I'm getting this tell you.
that it still doesn't have the same bitterness, but it's got some of the same flavor.
Yeah. That's an interesting beer too.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, is this a good thing? All this IPA stuff?
I think if you take a step back and look at the big picture, it doesn't matter which craft beers are selling, which styles, as long as people are moving from the macro producers to something that's made locally, that's made by somebody who cares, I think it's always a good thing.
And these are definitely post-gateway beers.
Yeah.
If you cut your teeth or if you ventured, off by Blue Moon or something like that, and you get to here, you've traveled quite a distance.
Yes, exactly.
I guess my only thing about it is you're seeing styles die off because of this, because there's just not enough room on taps. There's a whole class of beers you don't see much. Mm-hmm. You have Bell's Amber on right now, right?
Yeah.
You hardly see an amber on anymore.
Well, and that's, the reason I do that is because that is kind of a gateway style, whether it's...
But they're so boring. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, I know. I know. Well, you have to have kind of a unique perspective, I guess. What we want to do here is offer, style of beer for every palate, and I think we try to do that more often than not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you only got 30 taps to work with.
Yeah, only.
So. Okay, Adam.
All right, we done?
Good, yeah.
Cheers.
Prost.